day in and day out doing the same routine, redundancy, monotonous, recapitulating of yesterday's events. For many of us, this is what life has descended into. And this is characteristic not only of people living in retirement communities, but is also characteristic of individuals chasing the American dream, punching the clock every day from 9 to 5. But I want to suggest that that's really not living it. In fact, it is to be a walking dead person. And so today we want to really unveil a new campaign that challenges us to move into the place where we experience the exhilaration of having our hearts palpitate a little and experience life. Living it for us is disrupting our normal routine in order that we might experience an adventure. I think if our palms don't get a little sweaty from time to time as we deal with a little bit of nervousness, we have to ask the question, am I really alive? But not only is living it disrupting our normal routine, it is also experiencing without care or concern about winning or losing. It is this need to experiment. And I really like that, the ideal that we would take chances, that we would do more silly dances, the types of things that could threaten the possibility that we are embarrassed. I have found out that a lot of times in life, I have missed out on fun experiences. I have missed out on truly being alive because I was too concerned about looking silly. I was too concerned about whether or not I would win or lose. And it's that type of being shackled that stops us from experiencing life. And so our Living It campaign is an opportunity to be liberated from some of those fears and concerns, that we would move into a place where we would even risk embarrassment. I know that it's mortifying to think about embarrassment, but really, living it is about putting ourselves out there. It's also about taking calculated risks, not putting ourselves in danger, but taking calculated risks. And so today, I come to you with this appeal that we want to encourage people to try something new. Starting on Monday, this coming Monday, we will launch this campaign as an opportunity to invite people to move out of their comfort zones. And this campaign really is centered in data, research, and science. I've been thrilled to continue to have conversations about a new data trend that has come out of Simon Fraser University. And they did a 20-year longitudinal study surveying 3,000 patients who had a family member, primarily a parent, who had dementia and Alzheimer's. And in this survey, what they discovered is that lifestyle is the number one predictor of Alzheimer and dementia. And that when we operate in a place of pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zone, it becomes one of the greatest antidotes to stopping Alzheimer and dementia. And so this research is exciting. It says that when people try new things, it expands the neuroplasticity in our brains and causes us to move to a place where our brains and the dopamines, they'll get to moving, and in the hippocampus area of the brain where memory is stored, that area begins to expand and expand. And it does just the opposite of the devastating effects that come with Alzheimer and dementia. And so in our Living It campaign, we want to encourage you to try something new. Whether or not you win or lose, whether or not you look silly, or whether or not, you feel like this might be kind of embarrassing, but try something new. And in doing so, we really experience what life is about. It always makes me think about the story of how to boil a frog. And you may have heard this story before. And when you think about how to boil a frog, it's summed up in this notion that frogs, they prefer to be comfortable, and in their comfortability, they move into complacency, and then the end result of complacency is catastrophe. That is much like our lives. That if you put a frog in tepid water that he's comfortable with, and you slowly turn up the temperature, because of his comfortability, he won't even recognize that the temperature is being raised on him. He will become complacent, and then ultimately he will boil, and catastrophe will be his end result. Such is the case in our lives, that when we get into routines that we have become comfortable in and we become complacent in, we choose comfortability and we settle into complacency, and ultimately catastrophe chooses us. And so today, I want to encourage you, I want to challenge you to push yourself beyond your levels of comfort zone, that you would push beyond the brink of what feels natural and try some new things. So over the next 4 weeks, we will challenge people in 4 categories that have been set aside and proven to be powerful focus points for longevity. And those 4 areas are social engagement, intellectual vitality, physical fitness, and purpose and fulfillment. So starting on next week, we will begin the first week in the challenge of social engagement, and we want to encourage you to try an activity within the context of Larchfield that all you have to do is just open up your calendar, and we have so many powerful events that happen every day, so many opportunities for people to get involved, that I would like you to try something that you've never tried before. Go to a class that you've never gone to before. Perhaps you might go to Drum Circle or the Writers Group. Maybe you will challenge yourself to go to Chimes or join the choral. But do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. And in doing so, the data says that your brain will literally expand, which becomes the antidote for Alzheimer's and dementia. Well, not only do we want you to try something that you've never tried before, I'm going to ask you to also connect with a person that you've never connected before. Find someone within the campus of Larchfield that you don't know very well, introduce yourself to them, and have an opportunity to live it with someone else. Today and throughout the context of these next few weeks, I really would like us to declare a moratorium on the phrase, "We have always done it this way." We know that that phrase is the death slogan. It is the genesis for decline, for organizations, for businesses, for relationships, for people. The minute we settle into the comfortability of we've always done it this way and we become complacent, the end result is catastrophe, that our brains begin to shrink. We stop challenging the neurons and the receptors in our hippocampus area of our brain. And in doing that, we really set ourselves up for devastating consequences. So today, and as I said throughout the course of the next 4 weeks, I want to challenge you to live it. And live it means try something new. Move out of your comfort zone. That this really could be an opportunity for all of us to grow and expand together. What I'm going to ask you to do is just stop by one of the designated areas and pick up the challenge. Take the pledge. Challenge yourself to try something. I've been just overjoyed by all of the people that I've encountered over the last couple of days that I would meet in the bistro and stop by my office and in the hallways, who have expressed great excitement about the opportunity to become engaged and to do something different. Let's break up the monotony. Let's break up redundancy. Let's break up our everyday routine. And in doing so, I think you might discover that you really can expand. We don't have to settle for plateauing. We don't have to settle for a pasteurized existence. and living it as our first opportunity to disrupt normal. I hope that you will join us on this campaign. Please pick up your pledge and challenge, and I want to see you in some new courses.